love, what's up? Welcome to Confidently Uncomfortable. I'm your host, Jago, health and lifestyle coach and not-so-regal confidence queen. Coming at you with the real, the raw, and of course, the uncomfortable. My mission is to show you that to be confident, it has absolutely nothing to do with being perfect or having it all together, and everything to do with you getting uncomfortable and pushing your limits. Thanks for joining me. Let's dive in. What is up? I am so freaking excited. I'm seriously so excited right now for this episode. I am doing something a little bit different because I want you to create a vision for what you want for your life. I talked about this in previous episode, talking about your vision, but I'm recording this on Lent. So if you don't know what Lent is, it's the Christian holiday where you're like giving up something for Lent. And a lot of times it is a time for people to hone in on their goals again. Like they decide they want to give up sugar or they want to give up TV or whatever it is. They're just trying to make a shift and a change in their life until April, until Easter. So if that's you, or if it's not you, you're just trying to shift right now. This episode is just going to help you. I'm going to help you dig a little deeper into what it is that you want. What is that shift that you really want to make? And what is that even going to look like? What is the outcome of that shift going to look like in your life? How are you going to create that vision? What is your why? So why do you want to make this shift? Why do you want to make these changes? Whether it's to lose weight or start working out again or eat healthier or just making a shift in your relationships or your career. Like, I want to help you dig a little deeper into why and then also envision what that outcome is going to be. A lot of times we go into a situation thinking one thing, right? We go into a situation thinking that I want to lose weight and this is what I want for the next 3 months. And then it's really hard to think beyond just one thing. Like, I just want to lose weight. That's all I want. And the truth is that is actually a disservice to you and your growth. You are holding yourself back by only focusing on one factor. So I'm going to allow other people to speak for this, not me. So what I've done is I have a few different girls who, what I have you do, and I'm going to have you guys have some homework too, but I had them at the beginning of my program, Body Confident Blueprint. They write a letter to themselves, right? They write a letter to themselves about what they, like basically that person after and what they expected from this and the full outcome. And so writing a letter to yourself is a great way to speak to that person and your highest self. I talk about this a lot, about the importance of doing things for your highest self, for your best self. When you're making a decision thinking, is this something my highest self would do or that's going to benefit me and who I want to be? And so they wrote a letter to that person that they're wanting to shift into. It's already within them, but they're writing that person. So at the end of this, I will be leaving you with the challenge of writing a letter to your future self. So if you're going into this shift, if you're going into this new phase of your life, I want you to ask yourself, what are things you plan to achieve? What are the positive changes you would like to get out of this new change, this new shift, whatever this investment is that you're making in your life? And what will your life look like when you have reached your fitness goals? Like, the more descriptive, the more visual, the bigger you dream, the better. Like, really getting deep with it, because it's so easy to just say, this is my goal, and to just have like a little bullet point of things that you want to do. And there is no vision behind it. There's no dream behind it. And guess what? When there's not a real visceral vision behind what you want, you are not going to make the real changes and action steps that need to happen because you haven't even seen what your life could look like. You haven't even felt those changes could be for you. And so that act of doing that letter is so important. And the next thing that I have them do at the end of their program with me is writing a letter thanking themselves with all the changes that they've had. And so this is so beautiful, right? I think it's very easy to wash over our achievements. So maybe you've made some changes this year and you should be really proud of yourself. Like 2019, you were not doing this at all, and now you're doing it and it's amazing. And maybe you haven't taken the time to celebrate that, and you need to write a letter thanking yourself. So I have my women do this, and I'm super excited to kind of share some of them with you. And so what I'm going to do is basically throughout the thing, I have a few of the girls that are sharing basically a letter to themselves. So this is them speaking to themselves and what their experience was through BCB and what they got out of it. So this can benefit from you whether you do or don't, whether you are or aren't a part of BCB, Body Confident Blueprint. This exercise will benefit you. I do it with all of my clients, writing the letter before you're going into that shift and then writing a letter at the end of it. So give yourself a timeline if you're doing this on your own. I do recommend having a coach, having someone guide you through this, but I also want you to feel like you have a takeaway when you're going into this program. So enjoy this episode, enjoy listening to the girls. I'll pop back in between each of them, but I'm looking forward to hearing just their experience of making an investment in themselves and pouring into themselves for a full 90 days. Like, when is the last time you gave yourself 3 months to really go all in with your dreams, your goals, and your desires? When's the last time? It's probably been a while. You've probably been putting your needs on the back burner again because stuff came up, life got busy, things happened. But the truth is, and Ross talked about this last week on our episode, the one thing we cannot get back is time. Time, it's irreplaceable. You can't get more time in your life. However, you can shift your priorities to start making the most of that time that you do have. And I think that that's so beautiful. And I think that it's so true. And I want to remind you that today as you're jumping in and listening to those women and the shifts that they've made in their lives. So thanks for listening.
Dear me, you go, girl. You did it. You dedicated the last 90 days to yourself and putting yourself first. You were nervous at first because this was your first time investing in yourself, and here you are 90 days later. You've gained confidence, you've tried new things and made new friends. You've learned what foods fuel your body and are confident in making the smart choices without the guilt. You are able to enjoy things like wine, tacos, and pizza and still see results. You know how to break down into action steps in order to develop new positive habits. You kept a positive attitude towards yourself when life felt like a lot. You remained vulnerable and cheered on other women. You celebrated the small victories and didn't stress the small stuff. You are so capable and strong. I am so proud of you and can't wait for what's next. Sure, you will struggle with the morning routine, but that's okay. You have a plan and you are going to execute. The future is oh so bright. Keep shining your light. Just in time for the next investment in yourself for the next 6 weeks. The Body Confident Blueprint gave you the jump start. Now it's time to manifest. Love, me.
How cool is that? I mean, BCB was the jumpstart that she needed to gain the confidence to find food freedom and realize like what foods fuel her body, but then also have joy in the times that she does eat foods like tacos and have a beer. And having a positive attitude and celebrating the small stuff and really letting go of things you can't control. I think that we get so caught up in that, and it's really easy for our mindset when we can't control everything and it's not perfect, we give up. But that shift she made was amazing, and it was so amazing to watch her and then still continue to watch her invest in herself. This was her first investment, and it was scary because, I mean, we don't normally think of that as a normal thing to invest in ourselves. But guess what? She went in and continued to invest in herself, and now she's down almost 20 pounds. She's working out in the morning. When she wrote this letter, she was still struggling with the routine in the mornings, and that's okay. Everyone's timeline is different. Now she works out at 6 a.m., and she's been so consistent with it. It's so amazing to see. She's dove into a new relationship that is doing great. And guess what? It's because she started with the relationship with herself. She's in a new place. She's in this new state of mind where she's so confident that it's inspiring other people around her. And it's so awesome to see that that was like the jump start she needed to really continue and thrive with her goals. So I'm so freaking proud of this BCB babe.
Hello, 2020. I'm living life, enjoying my family, myself, and my husband. The weight of the scale has been lifted off of me after 33 years, and I'm finally taking advantage of my life. I am no longer not going on trips or to events because of how I feel about myself, and I am managing my money better so I can take those trips. I have gotten a better handle on my student loans and credit, and we are able to do more. The one-on-one time that I have with Ethan has become the highlight of both of our days, and my relationship with my husband is stronger than ever because I love me again. Working out and treating my body right is what's normal for me, and I feel weird when I don't do it. This is my Jesus year, and I'm living my life to the fullest. I'm no longer letting self-doubt, hate, and insecurities ruin my life, and it feels good. It's taken me a while to get here, and it's going to take a lot of work to stay here, but I'm not turning back.
I am not turning back. Oh, it gives me chills listening to that. Like, How freaking, when you listen to that, you were like, "Oh, heck yes." You're, like, ready to clap and, like, stand up for this girl. Like, I cannot express how proud I am of this woman. Like, she made such amazing shifts. Going into this, the biggest fear was investing in herself, and not it wasn't even a financial thing. I mean, obviously, that was a piece, but it was putting herself first was scary because as a mom and as a wife, like, she valued those roles so much that she did not wanna let anything else get in the way. She did not want to feel selfish, and that's how she felt when she was first doing this, and we had to really go into that mindset shift of, you have to fill your cup first so you can pour into those other relationships, and guess what? She did that, and that is exactly what happened. She makes a point of having time with her son every single day after she picks him up from school. How cool is that? And it's something that she now values more than anything. And it's because she has found a way to prioritize her own needs first. Her relationship with her husband is thriving. And it's been so cool to watch that as well, because it was her confidence in herself that changed that relationship between the two of them, right? And that is what's so cool is she poured into herself and now she's able to show up even more as a wife and as a mother. And it's just so amazing to see that shift and that strength behind it, like becoming better at handling money, stopping missing out on life. I think that that's huge because we hold ourselves back out of fear so much and then we miss out so much on life. And like I said, you can't get time back. So the shift that happened and saying I love me again is so powerful. So powerful. Getting rid of the self-doubt, the hate, the insecurity, and really taking ownership of your life. And that step was so amazing. And she's just continuing to do that and thrive and find that confidence and pour into her family and have that belief in herself. She knows that it's going to be a journey and there's going to be ups and downs, but guess what? She is not giving up. And that is so powerful. And I'm so proud of this, babe.
Hey, self. First off, I wanted to say how proud I am that you've chosen to invest in your health over the last few years. It's definitely scary to admit when we need external help to be able to achieve our goals, but it's also powerful to not let anyone's opinions or influences get in the way of your potential to achieve. It's funny, the journey that I needed to go on to get to exactly where I am now. In the beginning, I was only concerned with weight loss. I didn't care about any of that journaling or mind stuff. It wasn't until I shifted my focus from solely weight loss to a more holistic health view that everything started falling into place. Here are just a few of the things that I'm so very proud of that I've accomplished in the last 3 years on my health journey. I've run 4 half marathons and have signed up for 3 more this year, along with countless other smaller races. I've made so many new close friends from my running community. I've learned to intuitively nourish my body, leaving out what doesn't serve it, and my goals, for example, animal products, meat, dairy, and alcohol. This is still a work in progress, but an important one of being able to identify and express in a healthy manner my emotions in that moment. I learned that one of my major values is striving for a deep, intimate connection to others, but I was always too scared to fully open up. I've worked on sharing more of myself beyond what's on the surface and building deeper relationships with those important to me. I'm learning to be more aware of my thoughts and judgments of others and myself and to replace them with compassion. I've gained confidence to look at myself in the mirror and understand that I'm a work in progress, but exactly where I need to be in this moment. I've learned to get curious and dig deep into my thoughts and emotions through journaling and even uncovered the root of several areas of deep emotional trauma. I can go on vacation and not feel guilty. I have the tools to make decisions that feel right for me and my body in that moment and not regret anything later. I've been intentional with how I spend my mornings and evenings, even through life's changes, for example, new jobs, changes to workout routine, etc. But I know how important a set routine is for my sleep, mood, feeling grounded, and overall self-care. I've learned to reward myself for my accomplishments instead of treating them as things I should be doing anyway. This was a big mindset shift for me. I've leaned more into going with the flow and relinquishing control in the areas that are outside of my control and energetically draining. And last but not least, I've lost about 20 pounds total, but definitely gained muscle through the process. There's so much to celebrate here, and I can't wait to see the growth that continues in the future. Love you.
I cannot express the win of just her writing this letter to herself, because in the beginning, her first letter, I mean, she didn't have the same shift in the mindset around the power of her mindset and the power of shifting to really celebrating the wins instead of just seeing it as, well, this is what I'm supposed to do. I think a lot of times we go into thinking like, oh, well, I'm just supposed to eat right and do all this. So then we approach our fitness journeys with guilt, right? When we're not doing it right. And then when we are, we're just neutral. But really, you need to celebrate. Like, you're investing in yourself, you're pouring into yourself, you're taking the time your body needs for your health and for your achievements. And I think that's so huge. And I loved seeing that shift with her. Everyone's timeline is different, right? It took her a while to trust that process of mindset, and now she's like the biggest mindset, like me, like nerd, where she's investing in herself to learn even more about herself and even more about her journey. And in the beginning, like she said, she was only focused on weight loss. And that's what we do a lot of times going into it. And it's okay, because I want to meet you where you're at, but recognizing that there needs to be a shift. Building deeper connections was huge for her. Like being more self-aware and less judgmental, more compassion was so beautiful. And that created so many different changes in her life. Like everywhere. She talked about losing 20 pounds, but did you notice that was the last thing she mentioned? You know why? Because yes, it was amazing and she feels great and she's confident, but she knows that she's not done yet. That is just a piece of the puzzle. She is so much more focused on all of those changes in her routine, her releasing relationship with food and finding food freedom. So she worked through understanding food and then shifted into intuitive eating, and now is even listening to her body more and eating more of a plant-based holistic lifestyle. And I love that. I think it's so important to find things for yourself instead of just jumping on a bandwagon. And she did that through this process with BCB, becoming more self-aware, becoming more confident. And guess what? She's engaged to be married. I'm so freaking happy for her to have these own personal life shifts so that when she goes into this new relationship, because I know personally going into marriage is a big step, and you need to know who you are. Not completely, you're continuing to shift, but being able to find yourself and feel confident in you is so important. And I'm so proud of her. And I just could go on, but I can't because I want to talk about the next person. But I'm so proud of you. And I'm so glad you're a part of the BCB alumni. I'm going to share one more letter that one of my girls wrote to herself. I'm very excited for this one, and I appreciate you listening to all these because I just think they're so powerful in the shifts that they've all made. And this one short letter encompasses so much growth that it's hard to even see, but I hope that you are starting to grasp it now.
When I say you're a badass, don't take that lightly. I know you were crazy nervous signing up for this program and investing in yourself, but you knew that anything that scares you is usually worth it in the end. You didn't think you could find this part of yourself again, but here you are. You put in the work and listened to that voice that said you could find her again, and look at the changes you've made. You're working out regularly each week and killing it with running again. You can actually see your muscles again. Who knew they were hiding out there the whole time? Let yourself take in what that feels like. That room in your waistband that you're feeling, the numbers on the scale sliding back down, all of it. You made yourself and your health a priority and did what you set out to do, and this is just the beginning. Thank you for stepping out from that false narrative you were hiding behind and doing all of this. Now keep going, girl. Don't let anything get in the way from continuing to put you and your health first. This is what matters.
This is what matters. These girls, like literally I get so excited. Makes me miss them. I can't wait to like catch up with them in person at my retreat. But God, just so amazing. Such badasses. So let me go into this one real quick. This girl, when I first spoke with her, she had honestly lost weight before. She had already lost weight in the past, but she ended up gaining it back. And so she was so fearful to go into this program again because, well, I did it before and it didn't work. What if I do this again and it doesn't last? And that fear is completely understandable. It's completely understandable because you felt like in the past you had reached that goal and you had done all the things and you lost the weight and you were like, I did it. And then something happens, life happens, and it comes back. And so there was a missing piece the last time around. And she was able to learn that through BCB and finding that she's a freaking badass. And so the step that she needed was finding herself and listening to her voice. Instead of doing the weight loss aspect for other people and feeling like it's because you have to, she went into it with a new mindset of like, no, this is not just what I want. I want to really focus on my routine, pouring into myself again, and making an approach to my health changes that are not just solely focused on the weight. Like, yes, she did have weight loss goals, but that was not the sole purpose. She wanted consistency in her life again. She wanted to find routine. She wanted to find herself. And she did that through making her health a priority again. And the cool thing was that shift in making her health a priority, it completely skyrocketed her business. She's able to pour into her clients so much more. I see it happening with her energy, and it's so cool to see. She's pouring into her relationship. She's having a baby. I'm so excited for this one. I had to hold that secret in for a long time, but I'm saying it now. She's having a baby, and I'm so proud of her because she took the time to make her health a priority. And instead of just focusing on the things that she felt like she didn't have, or the fact that she wasn't enough, or just any of those fears that hold you back, she stepped out of that false narrative she'd been hiding behind. Do you feel like there's a false narrative that you're hiding behind? Something that you feel like, oh, I'm stuck here? Well, you're not. This goes to show it. You are not stuck where you are right now. If you are trying to get out of this hole that you feel stuck in, this situation, this mindset, this body that you feel like you can't crawl out of, I'm telling you right now, you can. It's going to take investing in yourself, pouring into your health, and taking the time you need to make yourself a priority again. I mean, it is possible to do this. Like, the thing is, a lot of times we go into seeing these people's transformations. So you see people thriving on Instagram, you see your friends doing really well, you see all these other people, and you're like, I mean, why them? Like, what's wrong with me? Like, they're just so amazing and they're doing so well, and I feel like I'm not. I feel like I'm behind. I feel like I'm not good enough. But the thing that you need to start asking yourself is, you're seeing all these people succeed. Why not you? Ask yourself that question. Why not you? You are just as capable. You are just as capable. No one came in with superpowers that they didn't already possess. It's just a matter of carving them out. That is what I do as a coach. I see the strength and the power that you have within you. You have it. Right now, you're sitting here listening to this, and you are powerful as hell. You are so powerful. But sometimes it's hard for us to see it because we get so caught up in that false narrative. We are fearful. We think, well, I'm not good enough. I'm not like them. I have too much going on. I've been through too much. Like, I'm going through too much. It's too hard. I don't have enough. I don't have that. And we're talking about all the things that we don't have in our lives and the reasons that we can't do something. And we need to shift that. You need to start speaking to yourself as if you've already accomplished these goals. So my challenge to you is to sit down with yourself today. If you can find some space, do it today. If you can do it at lunch, you can do it tonight. You need to do it. Turn on some music. I listen to binaural beats or chill hop on YouTube. It's amazing. And write a letter to your future self. So if you're ready to make that shift, I want you to write a letter. Dear me, this is what I'm going to achieve. Like, speak as if it's already happened. Like, thank you for X, Y, and Z. I'm so proud of you for X, Y, and Z. You are so amazing because you did this. And speaking all the shifts that you know you want to make and you're going to make in your life, speak as if it has already happened. That letter is going to be very powerful. Read it every morning. Empower yourself. Instead of telling yourself all the reasons you can't, instead of living that false narrative, I want you to shift out of it and into that higher self living, into finding your best self. But the thing is if you're just constantly thinking of like, well, I need to change, I need to get healthier, I need to be more confident, and like you're just thinking about it like that, that is not a way to create change. You need to visualize what that actually looks like in your life. How are you thinking? How are you acting? What are you doing differently? What is going on in your life? When do you wake up? What's your routine in the morning? What do you do on the weekends? Who do you hang out with? These things matter because that vision you have for your life needs to be an actual vision. Don't just say something that you feel like you want because you feel like you're supposed to. Don't just say you want to lose weight because you feel like that's what you're supposed to do. Actually think about what you want in your life. That is where the shift comes. That is where the power comes from. And so take that time today. It changed my life doing it. It changes my clients' lives. It's why I start with that in BCB. The first module we do is what is your why? We dive deeper into why you want to make these changes because until you understand that, until you create that vision for yourself, you are not going to go anywhere and you're still going to feel stuck. But you, like I said, I'm going to leave this on a high note. You are capable right now of making this shift. Okay? You are capable. I want to help you do that. And that's why I do this podcast. So do the exercise, share it with me. If you felt like this episode was helpful for you listening to these girls, please screenshot it right now and share it and tag me because I want to know how I can help you the most. And if this was inspiring for you, I want to know. If you go through this activity, I want to know about it. I'm a freaking nosy and I want to know about your life. So screenshot now, share it, and also share it to someone who you feel like needs to hear this. But thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you next time. You're amazing. Thanks again for listening to Confidently Uncomfortable. I love being able to connect with you here and honestly don't want it to end. So head over to my Facebook group, Body Confident Blueprint, and be sure to follow me on Insta at JGoFitLife. Also, if you're ready to get real confidently uncomfortable, go leave this podcast a 5-star review and email me the review screenshot, support@jgofit360.com, for a chance to win a free 30-minute fitness audit and goal setting session. I appreciate your support. See you next time.